Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers showcase video. In today's video, I'm once again taking a look at one of your designs that you have linked me in the comments section of one of my videos. And if you wish to see something of yours shown on this channel, just leave me the Steam Workshop link somewhere and I'll eventually get round to it. But for today, we are looking at another small block mining ship, and this one is called the PdE.SMS-HT Small Mining Ship Mark 01, which is this lovely thing right here. So it's a small block mining ship with everything being set up to eject out unwanted resources with a click of a button. We've only got hydrogen thrusters on this ship, so we do have a limited flight time before we need refueling, and we have no weapons, so we may need an escort if we're going in a dangerous area. Pressing F10 and finding the PdE in the spawn menu, that is the wrong thing. There it is. This thing is 340 small blocks. It uses the Decorative Block number 1 and the Wasteland DLC packs. It features no scripts, it features no mods, so we give this a thumbs up, then move all the way around to the very front. And here we go. So at the very front here, this is what we get. We got 4 small block drills to mine away to asteroids and get all the precious resources inside. We got 2 spotlights to light up the darkness, and we drive this thing around with the industrial cockpit. As we move around the side, we're going to see a lot of the barred window blocks from the Wasteland DLC packs that come across over to here. So the barred window blocks are going to be covering up all of your important parts. We got our sorters and we got our ejectors, we got our hydrogen thrusters and all the conveyors that link up to the big tank sitting at the back. If you were to come all the way around and past our ejectors over to here, just put my light on, we can see a large battery, an O2H2 generator, and a sneaky gyroscope just sticking out the top there. If we were to continue around towards the back, we'll see even more hydrogen thrusters all covered up with the barred window blocks. And at the very back, this is what we get. So we've got a bunch of small hydrogen thrusters to push ourselves around. At the very back, we've got ourselves a connector to connect up back to your main ship or your base to unload everything you gathered. And we've got a handy camera to help connect it up, with a little light down below that we can switch on in case it's very dark. As we move down and underneath this thing, we're going to see another gyroscope with some more interior lights to make sure it's nice and bright when going down through a dark hole. As we continue towards the front, there is another camera to help view down, and to drop ourselves down onto the landing gear right there, there is the bottom of our O2H2 generator and our battery, and there's a light just below our cockpit. If we were to come up and above past all of our drills, all the way up to here, we'll see our ore detector, our antenna, we've got a beacon. There is the top of our O2H2 generator, another camera to help just in case you're in a very tight hole, need to make sure you're not going to bump into anything, and there is the rest of our thrusters on top. So there we go. It's a very nice, very simple mining ship. That's a nice lot of detail going on with it, and it's very well protected up from any kind of light bumps and scrapes. So what we're going to do now is take control of my character. We're going to have a look at the hotbar. And everything has been set up on the LCD screens in the cockpit, so you don't have to refer to, say, the workshop page to know what's going on with it. So yes, number 1 is going to be for our battery on and off. Switching off will turn the entire vehicle off, and turning it back on, it will resume your functionality. Number 2 is going to be for our hydrogen thrusters all the way around the ship, on and off. And number 3 is going to be for our spotlights at the front, on and off. Number 4 is going to be for our blinking lights around the side there, so coming like that. Probably see a blinking white light, and a blinking red light, and a blinking green light. We'll switch them off for the moment. Number 5 is simply for our interior lights all the way around this ship that give us a constant white glow. And number 6 is for our antenna on and off, 7 is for our beacon on and off, and number 8 is for our camera on and off. If we were to come over to tab number 2, this is primarily our mining tab, where we got our cruise control settings. We've got number 1 to do a thruster override all the way forwards, and number 2 is to switch it all the way down. Number 3 is to turn our drills permanently on, or to turn them off. Number 4 is manual control over the drills, where we'll need to use our mouse to gather up all the resources. 5 and 6 is for our ejectors and collectors that sit on the very side. Where is the ship gone? There it is. It'll be for these 2 over here. Number 4 is going to be for our sorters on and off. There we go. And number 6 is going to be for our ejectors on and off. It's currently set up for stone, but you can always switch that to something else if you need it. Number 7 is once again for our spotlights at the very front there, so switch them on and off. There we go. And number 8 is for our ore detector sitting on the top. If you were to switch to tab number 3, this is going to be for our docking and our landing sequence and to unload everything in the ship. Number 1 is for our rear connector on and off, so there we go, or to simply lock and unlock it. Number 2 is to lock and unlock our landing gear, just below there, and we've got some controls for our cameras. So number 3 is to view the camera at the very back there to help connect up our connector. Number 4 is to view straight down so we can see we've got enough clearance for our landing gear, and number 5 is to view at the top there to make sure we're not going to scrape our thrusters while coming out of a hole. Number 6 is for our connector at the back there to switch it on and off, so there we go with that. And number 7 is to switch our landing gear on and off. There we are. Number 8 is to put our battery to auto or recharge, and number 9 is to stockpile our tank on and off, and we'll use this to recharge our tanks when we're connected up to a base. Tab number 4, 5 and 6 is all empty, so we'll give this a little thruster test, and then we'll go and mine one of the asteroids nearby. Also, if you're interested in the Skybox, there will be a link to it in the description below. It's a very fancy one, it's a very nice one. You've got a giant planet over there, you've got another planet in that distance, and we've got some kind of wreckage over here, which does add a nice lot of detail to the world. Anyway, moving forwards, this is what we get. We've got a nice lot of speed thanks to all of our hydrogen thrusters, and coming to a stop, we've got a good amount of speed with that, which is what you want from a mining ship. Moving left, and moving right, we've got some fantastic speed with that. Going down, and then going up, again, some fantastic speed with that. So we've got some good thruster distribution all the way around this ship. And as for mouse control, this is what we get. Absolutely no weight whatsoever, which is fine for a mining ship, because once we've got enough resources inside us, we're going to get quite heavy and quite slow. We're just going to come over to this asteroid right here, going to make sure the ore detector is turned on. I'm going to put our sorters and ejectors on, there we go. And we're just going to come across and start mining away at the stone. Hopefully there's something good to mine on here. And yes, after we've done that, we'll take a look at our containers. And we'll go from there. Oh, here we go. That should be some nice stuff right here. We'll go put our antenna on. Go switch to that. We've got some lovely cobalt. And we also have some space pirates in the distance. Yes, we're just going to come over to this. We're going to hide the signals once again. And we're going to start mining the cobalt. Yep, so here we go, like so. Our ship is nice and flush, so we should be able to go straight in a straight line, thanks to the way the drills have been set up. No need to use the right mouse button to make a big hole. Should be able to keep going straight forwards. There we go with that. You can see all the stone is being ejected out our ejectors, and we are starting to get a lot more heavier with all the stuff inside us. All the rocks are bouncing around. I'm always worried about that, because if you slam into them, you might take a little bit of damage, although maybe you will, maybe you won't. I've always been paranoid about the floating rocks. Yes, we'll just keep going, and it looks like we could be all full up. So what we're going to do is now reverse away like so, come to a complete stop, and now we're going to look into our inventories to see what we've collected. So as you can see, our cockpit has been piped up when we got 2.7k inside that. We then got our drills, each carrying 8.8k. As we move down, we've got a bunch of medium cargo containers carrying 9k. We've got our rear connectors, and there are the other drills. So we can carry quite a lot of resources inside here, although you may want to be fairly close to a base to be able to dump it off, because as you just saw, we did collect all of that in a very short amount of time. But how does the vehicle handle now that we are all full up? We are quite weighty now with the mouse, and moving forwards, we are a lot slower. So now we'll fill up the gyroscope. It's more like how I like my ships to handle. So it's a very good thing that was really sensitive before, because now we've got some kind of sensitivity with a little bit of weight on it. Now we're all full up. So the final thing to do with this lovely little mining ship is, of course, slam ourselves into an asteroid at full speed. So we're now going to do our thruster override all the way forwards, and we're just going to ram ourselves into this asteroid in the distance. So as per usual, there'll be a link to this drill ship in the description below if you are interested in playing around with it. It is a lovely drill ship, and you could get a lot of fun out of it. And like I said, there is a link to the Skybox as well. And here we go, straight into the asteroid. That is a fantastic crash. We lost our drills at the front. We are still moving forwards, and we could, theoretically, just slap on a new cockpit and drive this thing around. Although it looks like we have disconnected some of our hydrogen thrusters, although our reverse thrusters are still functioning. Like I said, there'll be a link to it and the Skybox in the description below, and I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.